Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're diving into the Player's Handbook 2024 once again. We're talking about a subclass of what is arguably the strongest class in the game, the Paladin. Despite the nerfs to Divine Smite and everyone mourning all of the Nova damage that Paladins used to be able to do, now the paladins have a lot more utility power. Their spellcasting's been improved, their healing ability, and the subclasses are the type that, you know, generally will add a lot of magical abilities and, a new addition to their aura of protection. And then the later features are, kind of hit or miss. But with the changes to the paladin, I think the subclasses needed a little bit of tuning up. And now we're going to take a look at one of the reprints from the 2014 manual, the Oath of Devotion. Did the Oath of Devotion get the tweak up that it needed to really carry, some of the nerfs that the Paladin had suffered in its core class? We'll get into the details of this subclass in just a moment, but before we do, I'd like to let you know, Relax Fantasy Review has memberships. For just $1 a month, you can support me here on YouTube and get a couple benefits. First, you get a little badge next to your name in the comments, letting folks know that you're a supporter. But also, you get early access to my videos. I upload videos Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I upload them a day early for members only. Finally, you also get access to the VIP room in the community Discord. The Discord's open for anyone to join, share memes, and talk about D&D, but there's a VIP room that is specifically for channel members, where you can talk directly to me anytime you like. If any of that sounds interesting to you, you click the join button. It's just down there next to the subscribe button. And if it doesn't interest you, that's fine too. Just being here, watching the video, liking and subscribing are all wonderful things that you can do to support me. So thank you for watching my content here on YouTube. The Oath of Devotion starts off with their expanded spell list, like all paladins do. The one here is very hit or miss. You've got some good stuff. Shield of Faith is here. Aid is here. Dispel Magic. And Freedom of Movement. Even Flame Strike. But then you've got some lower tier picks here. Things like Beacon of Hope, Zone of Truth, Guardian of Faith. Not ones that impress me that much. I think overall, I'm going to give this list like a 6 out of 10. It's not adding a whole lot to the Paladin's magic, at least nothing that it couldn't already achieve through other means. But the other thing you get is your Channel Divinity. It is the Sacred Weapon Channel Divinity, and it is quite a gangbuster. When you attack with the attack action, you can use a Channel Divinity to imbue the melee weapon that you're holding with divine energy. It lasts for 10 minutes, or until you use this feature again, so you can only have it on one weapon at a time. You add your charisma modifier to attack rolls that you make. And every time you hit, you can deal radiant damage with the weapon. And the weapon emits, light in a radius similar to a torch. The idea that you are adding your charisma modifier to your attack rolls is huge. I mean, most paladins have to really kind of toss up this idea. Do they use their strength or do they use their charisma? Because both are such important stats. And this clears that up because unlike, a hexblade, not a hexblade, a warlock dip where you get the pact of the blade and you can attack with your charisma. No, this attacks with your strength and your charisma. So if you gave yourself a plus 16 in both of them at character creation, and assuming you're attacking with a proficient weapon, that is a plus 8 to hit. And then if you boost your charisma, you're also boosting your aura of protection and your other spell casting, and you're still boosting your attack stats as well. This is 10 out of 10, no question. And the fact that it lasts 10 minutes, and it doesn't even take a bonus action. It just happens when you attack and you choose to do this. It's action economy friendly. Yeah, this is 10 out of 10, for sure. Then at level 7, you get your expansion to your aura, the Aura of Devotion. You and any allies within your aura are immune to the Charmed condition. The charm condition is pretty debilitating, stopping you from attacking enemies and giving them advantage on their social checks against you. But resistance to the charm condition is pretty common, and I give that a high ranking as well. But flat out immunity, is that better than resistance? Most charmed effects give you repeated saves, and the fact that you don't run into charm all that much. I think that this is 9 out of 10. It isn't a game-breaking feature. It's not something that's gonna, come up in every adventure. It's going to make you feel godlike against creatures like the Fae or Fiends who often use charm effects. But under normal, more kind of combat-heavy circumstances, it's not going to come up that much. So I give it 9 out of 10 for its potential potency. Then at level 15 comes the feature Smite of Protection. This says that when you use Divine Smite, you can also buff up your aura of protection and give you and your allies in it half cover until the start of your next turn. So by using Smite, you're actually adding a couple points to AC, and you're probably going to be using Smite anyway. Divine Smite isn't as overpowered as it used to be, but it's still something I'm going to use often. And now that I have a defensive reason to, I'm going to use it way more often. So I think this is okay. I think that it becomes better when your aura goes to 30 feet instead of just 10. 10 feet's pretty small for a level 15 aura. But I think that it's enough to give it like an 8 out of 10. Plus 2 to AC is not nothing, especially when you're at higher levels of play. So, yeah, I think 8 out of 10 is fair. Maybe when it goes up to a bigger aura, I'd give it 9 out of 10. Then, finally, at level 20, you get your Paladin super feature, Holy Nimbus. When you take this feature, you can do it and it lasts for 10 minutes, and you can use it once per day or use a 5th level spell slot to use it again. While you're in this aura, you shed a bunch of light, which counts as daylight, according to it, so it can kill undead and vampires and stuff. All creatures who start within your aura of protection that are enemies take radiant damage equal to your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus, so that's probably 11 by now. And there's no save, it's just automatic damage. And then finally, if a fiend or an undead casts a spell on you, you have advantage on saving throws against those spells while in this form. So this is definitely the kind of form that, the advantage on saves is cool. The passive damage is actually really nice. And then the daylight thing is very specific. I think that this is a decent super form, but it's not as powerful as other ones I've seen. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I think that it deserves to be noted that in specific campaigns where radiant damage and sunlight and fiends and undead are common, you'll do great things. Outside of that, this isn't going to do a whole lot for you. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the Oath of Devotion in general. Apart from their Sacred Weapon feature, which is very, very strong and makes for a fantastic sword and board style defensive paladin, or a great weapon, two-hander paladin, it sells it so well for accuracy boost and the fact that you can deal radiant damage with it. It bypasses a crap ton of resistances. It's all good stuff. I think that everything else in the subclass is just decent. Immunity to charm, bit of extra defense against fiends, undead, and when you use Divine Smite. The spell list is pretty meh. Overall, I give the Oath of Devotion 8 out of 10. It's not a bad subclass. It's got good things in it. It just feels very uninspired. And I think that was always the deal with the Devotion Paladin. It just felt like the Hunter Ranger or the Thief Rogue. Do you want a bit more Paladin with your Paladin? It just felt like that. And their twist on this is nice, but I wouldn't say that it's inherently better than the old one. It's good. And that's what it is. It's good. So if you like just playing the most straight-laced Paladin out there, this one may be good for you. And if you want to be really accurate with your weapons, this one also works. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below. Have a look for the join button down there, and keep your eyes peeled for more subclass reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.